Hello, I'm Christopher Jones from Bicycles Network Australia, and in this video we're looking at SwissSide aerodynamic wheel sets. We'll begin with briefly looking at who are SwissSide, then have a look at their new range, and then a few details about the wheels which I've been testing. So to begin, SwissSide are a young brand who are all about aerodynamics. They have a team of experts, so engineers with aerodynamics and material expertise. They spend a lot of time in the wind tunnel and they release a lot of their testing data to customers. So you can actually see exactly where they're going and why they claim to have the fastest and best performing wheels on the market. One of the things which I've noticed with the brand is there are top athletes who are moving across the SwissSide really to get those gains right at the pointy end. Now, what is interesting for us mere mortals who are not necessarily right at the top level is that they're providing a more accessible price point, and the way that they can do that is they have a direct to customer type of model, which means that rather than having distributors in the middle, you purchase directly from SwissSide. So they're providing that top level of performance but also with a more affordable price point. One other nice announcement which came this year is that they have a partnership with DT Swiss, and so it means that if you purchase SwissSide wheels, you can go to a DT Swiss dealer and get the type of customer support you would normally expect if you were purchasing direct from a shop. So that is a real advantage for customers. So now we'll move on to have a look at their new range for this year. This year in 2018, SwissSide launched a whole new lineup. It's divided into the Classic and to the Ultimate ranges. They're actually quite similar because they really only differ in the hub. The fairing is actually identical whether you go for the Classic, which is a more affordable lineup, or the Ultimate. And the other interesting thing is that they have a flat pricing. So if you purchase a Classic wheel, the price is the same regardless of the profile height and regardless of whether you go for a rim or a disc brake. Similarly, in the Ultimate range, they have a flat pricing. So to give you an overview, in the Classic range, they use a custom hub, whereas in the Ultimate, they use the DT Swiss 240 with Aero spokes. The sizes are for both ranges. They have a 485 as a smaller profile, and these ones here are the 485, that's 48.5 millimeters. They have a 625, which is 62.5 millimeters, and an 800, which is 80 millimeters in profile height. Otherwise, the wheel sets are all full carbon. They are tubeless, ready, so it means, and it comes with a small valve as well. With these test wheels, I've used a tube in it because it's simply a little bit easier and cleaner. And these ones happen to be the rim brakes. They provide the Swiss Stop Black Prince rim brakes to go with it. And in terms of pricing, if you purchase a complete wheel set, the Classic series, let's say the more affordable range, is about €1,260. Otherwise, the Ultimate range is about €1,678. So if we look at the Australian pricing, you're looking just under 2,000 Australian dollars for the Classic range, or for the top end range, you're looking at about 2,600 Australian dollars. And finally, to my own experiences, I tested the Classics with the custom hub and the rim brake with the 485, so that's a 48.5 deep profile. For me, this is the perfect wheel set. I'm not at the top end of performance, which means I don't necessarily need their top performing wheel, and the 485 is their lowest profile, and for me it's an everyday wheel set. So if there is a lot of wind, I don't get pushed around so much. Obviously, SwissSide, being at the top end of performance and aerodynamics, they're thinking about what happens in wind, so they're trying to minimize drag, and they even use things such as a sail effect, where they can use wind coming from the right direction to actually help propel you further and to save more energy and get you going faster. I really like these wheels. I found them direct and very responsive, so they certainly do guide me around the paths. They were fast, so it means I could just sit there going downhill and easily, even as a lightweight rider, catch up with a lot of the heavier riders on their sometimes performance wheel set. So I was really happy with the performance of these, really happy with just the the power and, let's say, the handling that they gave me. So they weren't too twitchy, they really sat in their path and gave me a good direction, and I was just very, very comfortable and confident. The braking was also good. They had the Swiss Stop black printers used for the braking, and it's certainly important to use the brake pads which are provided, and the braking was good. They certainly squealed a little bit at the really heavy braking, but they also provide instructions to pulse your braking, which means, you know, you brake hard and you release and allow the rims time to cool. That's just good braking practice. So I am essentially sold on these wheels. They're great wheels. Unfortunately, I do have to give them back to SwissSide now, so that's certainly disappointing. But they're a wheel set which I recommend. Very, very high quality production, very, very good performing wheel. And especially if you are a competing athlete or have aspirations, then certainly consider SwissSide. It's something which has served me quite well, and I'm, as you can probably guess, a little bit of a fan of the brand. So I'd suggest that you have a look at our more comprehensive review on Bicycles Network Australia. Otherwise, you can join in with our discussion forum, also under bicycles.net.au, the Australian cycling forums. So I look forward to seeing you again next time.